So the first fight in Super Gorness is interesting because it has 6 phases, which is rather long, and the triggers to move forward in the fight are not based on bosses, but on the number of mobs you kill or damage done to specific mobs. So to trigger the second phase of the fight, you need to kill 10 mobs, it doesn't matter which. So right there I killed 4 mobs plus 2, so that's 6, plus the Mancubus, that's 7, plus the Possessed next to him, that's 8. So this Mancubus is fighting a zombie that's having a very bad day, and as soon as I'll kill this Mancubus, phase 2 is going to spawn, which is one soldier over there, a Revenant that's going to fall from here, there's a soldier on the other side that spawns as well, and there's also a carcass that spawns right here. So phase 3 triggers as soon as I've dealt a significant amount of damage to the Revenant. The other mobs don't matter, so I'm just going to run away here because I don't want to damage the Revenant. But you can kill the Mancubus without actually spawning anything. But as soon as you deal a significant amount of damage to the Revenant, and at most enough damage to stagger him, the next phase is going to spawn, and the next phase is going to be 2 Prowlers and a Hell Knight. So let me find the Revenant now. Yeah, so I just sniped him once, he took probably a shotgun shot as well. So we have 2 Prowlers. And the Hell Knight. So dealing damage to the Hell Knight. If I were to shoot him again once, probably would be enough. Spawns the next phase, which is a Caco Demon. Oh, he's dead, so that's enough. So the Caco Demon spawns. Same thing, dealing damage to the Caco Demon spawns the phase after that, which is a Whiplash. So if you just shoot him once, yep, spawns, here comes a Whiplash. And dealing damage to the Whiplash, once again, I didn't have to kill her to spawn the last phase of the fight, which is another Whiplash. So that's a fight. So to do the fight optimally, you probably want to rotate your way to the carcass, the first 10 mobs. So wait for the 2 imps to come here. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10, so second phase spawned. So now all you have to deal with is the Revenant. I happen to have 3 pips, sorry, of chainsaw ammo, which was useful. Probably want to deal with the other Prowler who's hanging around somewhere. That's unfortunate, but it doesn't really matter. We have 1 more Whiplash that's going to spawn. And you've dealt with most of the fight now. So you do want to be careful because there's an annoying Pinky fight coming up. So you want to save some ammo for that. So probably end with a chainsaw. So to stagger Pinkies, the most reliable way I found is to blow up their tail. And then do a certain amount of damage to the Pinky itself. What I use is rocket launcher, ballista rocket launcher to the face. It's rather consistent. I'd say it's very consistent. I'd say 3 out of 4 times. So here the best way is probably to take your shot, freeze the pinky, take your shotgun. There you have it. So this fight, there's nothing particular about it. Well, there's nothing difficult about it. There's a Dread Knight that spawns here. If you enter the arena a bit more, there's an Arachna that spawns, Arachnotron. What's a bit funny is that there's a Dread Knight that spawns in the back, but he does nothing, doesn't come into the arena until you've killed either the other Dread Knight or the Arachnotron. Apart from that, you have 2 gargoyles, 2 possessed soldiers or zombies. You can kill those, they don't respawn. That's about it. So the arena is a Dread Knight and an Arachnotron. The other Dread Knight just hangs back until you've killed either the Dread Knight or the Arachnotron. So as soon as I kill him, he comes in trouble. Oops. But that's about it. You want to clear everything. And there you have it. So this section is a pretty tough fight. It was pretty tough for me in Nightmare in my first playthrough. You have a buff totem. It's buffing the enemies and you can't actually access it. So you have to clear a couple of phases before you can actually kill the buff totem. So the first phase is 2 gargoyles, a shield, 2 mecha zombies and a soldier. You need to kill 4 out of these 6 mobs to be able to progress. There's no particular order or rule as to which you should kill, but whenever you've killed 4, a prowler is going to spawn, and it's going to spawn from this area right here. So if you kill the prowler, the next phase is going to spawn, and the next phase is 2 more prowlers and a carcass. And during phase 3, so the last phase, the pillars arise, and you can actually kill the buff totem. So there really is no point during this phase in killing the prowlers because they respawn indefinitely. So you might want to kill the carcass, which doesn't respawn. But obviously the first thing you want to do as soon as phase 3 starts is you want to kill the buff totem, and the access to the buff totem is always going to be the first pillar, first TP on your right when you have your back stuck against the wall where the buff totem is. It's a good use of my flame belch there. So this one right here, I'm going to be able to use the buff totem and clear the area. So that's the fight. You actually don't want to pick up this canister until the end of the fight, in my opinion, because there's a long fight coming afterwards. So there's a long fight with another canister in it coming just afterwards. So having 3 canisters during that fight is going to help you kill 1 boss mob quickly, which is going to be useful. So the other pillars are always the same. This one sends you to armor, and you just have armor. So just so you can see which is which, the buff totem is right here. So this one was to the buff totem, this one is the one we used. And it sent us right over here. The one on the left will give us some HP, as well as 3 mecha zombies to kill. 2 mecha zombies and a single zombie. You might want to use chainsaw on them because you need some ammo for it's the super gore nest, which is right here. The doors to the gore nest open as soon as you enter the arena. Oh no, they open, as soon as you clear the 4 pillars. So the 4th pillar is a token, and you need to be careful because you have these annoying little tentacles right here. So as soon as you've cleared all 4, the secret gourd nest is going to be open. You can exit the arena as well, but you can go back to the arena after picking up the key. And now you can pick up the canisters, since you want to have at least 2 at the end of the fight. And the secret gourd nest is 2 mancubus and 2 mecha zombies. So there's nothing. It's an annoying fight because you're trapped in a small room with mancubus, which is always annoying. But it's there's nothing particularly special about it. So that's that. So the way I'd go about completing this fight is I'd be sure to go back here to pick up some ammo, get my super shotgun and my rocket launcher ready. I don't want to pick up the chainsaw pit downstairs because I want to keep it for later. So I want to be careful with that and keep around the edges. And since the first prowler spawn always spawns in the same place, I want to be there as soon as I can. So you should spawn. The carcass always spawns here as well. Once you're here, you can always kill that prowler. There we have it. So use your chainsaw at least once here, because you're gonna have a secret gourd nest to complete. And you want some ammo. Probably should have something else to do that, but never mind. And there you have it. So this fight's pretty interesting because it follows the pattern of having to kill certain enemies and then a number of enemies, which is what happened in the first fight. So you have 2 arachnotrons and 2 mancubus spawn. On the map you also have 3 imps, 2 gargoyles that spawn indefinitely, so there's no point in killing them. The fight has 4 phases, so this is phase 1. Phase 2 only triggers once you've killed all 4 bosses, and phase 2, strangely enough, is just 2 soldiers spawning, nothing else. As soon as phase 2 spawns, you need to kill 4 mobs, regardless which mobs, but you need to kill 4 mobs in phase 2 for phase 3 to spawn. Phase 3 is 2 revenants that spawn. One will always spawn here, another will always spawn I think it's right there in front of the door. As was a Hell Knight, that's always going to spawn there. A Dread Knight, sorry, not a Hell Knight. As soon as you kill both Revenants, phase 4 is going to spawn, which is 2 Cacodemons. One spawns to the left here, and another one spawns to the right here, as well as 2 carcasses that spawn inside right here. So if you kill the wrong, I won't say the wrong enemy, but if you don't necessarily clean up your mess, you can end up with quite a bit of stuff on the field by the end of the fight. So you do need to be careful a bit. But apart from that, that's the fight. So as you saw, there's a chainsaw pip right there. I only have 2, but you should have another one remaining from the previous fight. I forgot to pick it up, but it's there. That's about it. So on Nightmare you probably killed the imps here. Did a bit of damage. Once you've killed these guys, It's 1, 2. That's the fight. So for this next section, there are tentacles on the ground. On the easier difficulty, you probably want to skip them. Harder difficulty, you probably don't, because one bad hit can get you into trouble. To open the door behind me, just need to kill them. The Mancubus spawns the Revenant and the Nymph. Technically don't have to kill, but since there's a nook right here, it's a bit easier to kill. This fight is simply free Arachnotron. I definitely die. So on this playthrough I hadn't used the onslaught token, which is why it's still up there, but probably won't have it up there. That's the fight. So next thing up is probably player 2. So this surrogate is probably the easier, if not easiest ones in the game. There are only 2 phases. So the first phase is about 12 soldiers and 2 carcasses. Killing soldiers spawns carcasses. There are a total of 3 carcasses in reserves. So if you only focus on killing soldiers, you're going to have 5 carcasses on the map. So you don't want to focus too much on the soldiers, and you want to kill the carcasses as much as you can during this phase. Otherwise you're just going to have this bunch of carcasses on the map, which is going to be excessively annoying. So I've killed about 12 or so soldiers so far. In order to progress to the next phase, you need to kill about 20 mobs. So you obviously have to kill the soldiers as well, but as I said, you won't really want to focus only on them, because otherwise you're just going to have this bunch of carcasses running around. It's going to be extremely, well, annoying and dangerous. They're probably, I mean, they are a dangerous mob to deal with. So the soldiers don't respawn forever, or at least they do, but very slowly. So once again, you're going to end up killing carcasses, but you do want to manage their population a bit earlier than, I mean, throughout the fight, rather than by waiting till the end. So that's probably 16 mobs, 17, 18, 19, around 20, a few more mobs, and should be on our way to phase 2. I'm just gonna kill a few carcasses because this is becoming annoying. That's 2, yeah, so that's like 20-ish mobs. So phase 2 starts with 1 Hell Knight, 1 Dread Knight, and a Pinky as well, that spawns in the corner over there. There's a delayed spawn of 2 other Hell Knights and a Pinky. It's a very delayed spawn, but they spawn regardless of what you do. So that's 1 Pinky, We have 2 Pinkies now, and we should have 3 Hell Knights on the field. Pinky, Pinky. I see 1 Hell Knight over there. 2 Hell Knights over there. Yeah, and 3 Hell Knights total. 1, 2, 3. So, killing anything that spawned from, let's call it the first wave of phase 2. So, this Dread Knight, 1 of the Hell Knights and 1 of the Pinkies is going to spawn Prowlers. So, there are 3 to 4 Prowlers in reserve in the game. So, you need to killing them is useful because you're going to have to kill them and they don't respawn forever. The Prowler stuck in a fight somewhere. I can't seem to find the Prowler. I'll be honest with you, the Prowler spawn is a bit, I'd call it erratic. I'm not sure I understand what conditions need to be met for it to spawn. Maybe you need to kill all the carcasses for it to spawn. All the carcasses and a boss. I'm not exactly certain. Oh yeah, maybe it's all the carcasses. Maybe you need to kill all the carcasses in a boss for them to spawn, but the basic idea is that you have a couple of Prowlers that are going to be on the map hanging around. 3 to 4, so I've killed 1, 2. There's a 3rd. Ah, they're so annoying. So that's 3 Prowler kills, and I'm pretty sure none more respawn, or if there were a respawn, it'd be only a single respawn. So you also have 3 chainsaw ammo on the field, so you can use them to kill a boss. There's 1 over there, and 1 I picked up over here. So sorry, there are 2 chainsaw ammos on the field, so 1 down here and 1 at the back. But that's about it. It's a pretty simple fight. Once everything spawned like this, you need to kill everything. But there's nothing extraordinary to the fight. As I said, in the first phase, you want to deal with the carcasses so that they're not an annoyance. The second phase, you probably want to deal quickly with the first wave of mobs that spawn. And once that's done, just deal reasonably and slowly with the rest. Cautiously, rather than slowly. But there's really nothing more to the fight. So on Nightmare difficulty, as I said, you probably want to try and focus the carcasses. Luckily for you, most of the spawns scripted. So fight starts here. Have a bunch of enemies. Oh. There are 3 2 chainsaw pips in there. So you might want to pick those up too. So you do want to be careful with the rocket launch. Given that there's so many carcasses around, because you can put a shield up really quick. Gets you up. That's probably around 10 kills. 15. Pretty sure I didn't kill 5 carcasses. Maybe. Well, it seems like there are only soldiers left, which is a good thing. So there's a Pinky over there.
Some ammo somewhere. Oops.
That's a fight. That really is pretty easy. So this whole section, skip. Setting not too early, properly, because there are tentacles here, so you want to keep your dashes. This whole section to taking too much damage. This is probably scary or dangerous part. That carcass, but there you have two incubus, but stash through. Let's climb this way. And that's it.